Good day. So in today's review video, we will be discussing about Coulombs Law. So before we start our discussion about Coulombs Law, let's answer first these assessment questions. So first question, what will happen if two unlike charges moves near to each other? A, it will be attracted to each other. B, it will be repelled to each other. C, nothing happens. So please choose your intended answer. Next question. What will happen if two like charges moves near to each other? It will be attracted to each other. B, it will be repelled to each other. C, nothing happens. Third and last question. What will happen if two like charges are far apart from each other? A, it will be attracted to each other. B, it will be repelled to each other. And C, nothing happens. So what is Coulomb's law? So it states that the electrical force between two charged objects is directly proportional to the product of the quantity of charge on the objects and inversely proportional to the square of the separation distance between the two objects. So in this illustration, it explains or visualizes the Coulomb's law. So this is composed of two scenarios. First is positive Q1 and positive Q2 is moving away each other, and the second scenario is positive Q1 is moving towards with positive Q2. Now, let's focus on the first scenario. So bakit nga ba sila nagmo-move away from each other, or what we call nagre-repel? It states that in the law of attraction that positive charge repels positive charges, meaning same charges repels, right? Next, in the second scenario, they are moving towards each other. In the law of attraction, it states that positive charge attracts negative charge, meaning unlike charges attract each other. That's why they are being attracted, or they are moving towards each other. But the strength of this attraction and repulsion is affected by distance. Charges have innate forces. This magnetic forces is affected by distances. So the further the distance of the charges from each other, then the forces decreases. If they are near to each other or closer to each other, then the forces are stronger. So the direction of the force could be towards or away, or it is said that it is attracted and repelled. So Coulomb's law is described in this equation. F is equals to K multiplied to Q1, Q2 divided by D squared. So Coulomb's force is equals to Coulomb's law constant multiplied to charge 1 multiplied to charge 2, then divided by distance squared. So K is the Coulomb's law constant. This Coulomb's law constant has a value of 9 raised to 9 Newton meter square per Coulomb square. The Coulombs Law equation provides an accurate description of the force between two objects whenever the objects acts as point charges. So this Coulombs Law guy exactly illustrate or explains the behavior of the electricity. Diba? When unlike particles move towards each other, then ma-attract. Pero kapag may dumating na or lumapit na negative particle, then magkakaroon ng repulsion. So, that is how the electricity behaves, di ba? For example, electricity is the flow of electrons. Now, these electrons are free, this electricity are free charges. Now, if this electricity flows in a wire, now, ma-attract siya sa positive, but then, yung dun sa region na yon, meron ding negative charge, then magra-repel siya. Pero pag nag-repel siya, nag-bounce siya, mapupunta na naman siya sa positive due to attraction. Pero sa positive charge, may nakalapit din na negative charge, then mare-repel na naman yung electrons. And based from that, magkakaroon ng flow kasi bounce yung electricity. Bounce ng bounce yung electrons. Kaya nagkakaroon ng flow. So let's try to solve a sample problem. Two balloons are charged with an identical quantity and type of charge. It is negative 6.25 nanocoulomb. They are held apart at a separation distance of 61.7 centimeters. So determine the magnitude of the electrical force of repulsion between them. Now, let's analyze the problem first. Two identical, so dalawang parehas na charges. Bakit sila parehas? Because they have the same value of charge, and that is negative 6.25. Now, dahil parehas silang negative, meaning that the direction will be the direction of the forces will be moving away from each other, meaning it is repulsion force. Now, what are the givens? So, Q1 and Q2 have the same value, negative 6.25 nanocoulomb. Distance is 61.7 centimeters, and Coulombs Law constant 9 raised to 9 Newton meter squared per coulomb squared. But then, as you could observe that the units in the Coulombs Law constant is Newton, meter, and coulomb, right? So we need to convert the units of the other givens para mag-match doon sa Coulombs Law constant natin. Kaya the value of the charge 1 and charge 2 will become 6.25 raised to negative 9 coulomb. And the value of the distance will be 0.617 meters para mag-jive siya doon sa Coulombs Law constant. And we are finding for electrical force. So the formula is force is equals to K multiplied to Q1 multiplied to Q2 divided by D squared. So the value of K is 9 raised to 9 Newton meter squared per coulomb squared. Then the value of Q1, Q2, negative 6.25 raised to negative 9 coulomb. And the value of distance is 0.617 meters squared. So what we're gonna do first is to cancel all the same units. So as you could observe here, the same units are meters and the coulomb squared. Meter squared and coulomb squared. Kaya ang matitira na lang dyan ay Newton. Now, when calculating this, first multiply the charges. So the product of negative 6.25 nanocoulomb is 3,906 raised to negative 20. Then this 3,906 will be divided by 0.381. So, saan nakuha yung 0.381? We squared the distance. Okay. Then, get the quotient of this two. Then, multiply it to the Coulombs law constant, which is 9 raised to 9 Newton. And the product will be 9.23 raised to negative 7 Newton. So, this is the Coulomb force. Now let's answer the questions earlier. So first question, what will happen if two unlike charges moves near to each other? Then the answer will be, it will be attracted to each other. Why? Because they are two opposite charges and they are near to each other. So according to law of attraction, they will be attracted. Because two unlike charges will attract. So next question. What will happen if two like charges moves near to each other? So the answer will be, it will be repelled to each other. Why? Because according to law of attraction, two same charges will be repelled. And last but not the least, what will happen if two like charges are far apart to each other? So nothing happens, even though they are like charges, because the distance have affected the magnetic forces. So if they are far from each other, then the magnetic force is weak. I hope na naintindihan nyo yung about sa Coulombs Law. And for sure, makakapasa tayo sa board exam. So, for more updates, please subscribe and hit the notification bell para tuloy-tuloy ang pagre-review natin.